Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow Holotable hustlers, you're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. the other Sean, and sitting across the Holotable from me is my guildmate, Josh, a.k.a. the Golden Pop-Tart. Wait, what?
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 Guildmate? Yeah, so we've had a little bit of changes that's happened the last few days, and so number one is we have a guild.
We have a Radio Free Tatooine guild, and we're going to talk about why we have a Radio Free Tatooine guild, because I didn't wake up thinking, you know what we need? A Radio Free Tatooine guild, but we ended up with one. So we will definitely get to that, and we're recruiting. We are hungry for recruits. We need some butts in chairs.
There you go.
The way that I don't know. I don't have a finish for that sentence, but we need people. It's a fun place. We'll talk about it later. And if you don't want to listen to the episode or you don't have time, just hit me up on Discord. It's in the show notes. Get on Discord and be like, yo, about that guild.
Yeah, right.
We'll get you in. And that's really the news this week. So we'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's have some really positive, celebratory energy here as we celebrate some Blurf days. All right, this week we've got 3 Blurf days, but on each one there are a lot of tunes celebrating. On the first, we have Darth Sion, Darth Traya, and Visas Mar, who all hit the game on March 1st, 2018.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I mean, was that during the raid season, or?
Yeah, it was with the launch of the raid, those 3 characters. So, Traya as the raid reward, Sion as a new, I think he was released as Marquis, as was Visas Mar. And, man, when Visas Mar first released, we thought no Sith character is ever going to matter again, because Visas Mar has anti-Sith synergy built into her kit. Rip Sith. No.
They're doing okay, so.
Turns out the only way you would ever use her is on a team led by Emperor Palpatine.
Right?
Ironically.
Yeah, a little interesting.
Yeah, so that is 7 years ago. Oh, boy. And then on the first, we also have Magma Trooper, who is, do the math, 9 years old, and still just trooping, just out there trooping, with a great datacron now.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really good datacron. And then we also have Razor Crest, and I didn't put the year, because I guess I just don't care.
No.
I'm guessing around 2020 or so. Something like that.
That's a conquest unit, too.
I can't just let it be. It was 2021.
I mean, I'm glad there hasn't been any ships for a moment for Conquest. Because that is just not, not ideal, but...
Honestly, I'd rather, if we have a new ship, I'd rather it go to Conquest than me have to grind it over the course of a year plus, But on the 4th, we have 2. We have Dark Trooper, who's turning 4 years old, and then TIE Echelon turning 3 years old. Echelon, not so useful anymore.
It was for a moment, but...
Dark Trooper? It's never not fun to punch people in the face.
Multiple times.
That's a clip right there. It's never not fun to punch people in the face. on the 6th, we actually only have one on the 6th. It is Captain Darple's 1 year old. 1 year of Tarples. And that's it. And we don't have any updates from CG. Like, that's not...
Yeah, nothing. I mean,
there
was a
couple
couple
about him being accelerated yet, but
yeah,
most likely
yeah.
next week. Yeah.
I mean, there was a hot fix for something. You know, I think that was 9 days ago. I think was the last one. Maybe less than 9 days, but nothing for a couple days.
Nothing significant. Well, let's take a look at this week's upcoming in-game events while we got you. Brought to you by swgohevents.com for a complete list of past, present, and future events. swgohevents.com is a universe of info in a galaxy of heroes. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. There's not a lot going on this week. We're wrapping up, and there's even less going on in our guild. We are wrapping up a conquest. Cool. So that means, obviously, Monday we'll have the Proving Grounds, Ultimate Journey, but besides that, all we've got on the 28th, we've got Stardust Transmission, which matters a lot to some folks. And then we have a Credit Heist on the 2nd, also matters a lot to some people. And then on the 3rd, we've got an Omega Battle. That doesn't really matter to anybody, I don't think.
No,
not too much. And Grand Arena Week 2, sign up for Season 63. And that's it. That's all that's on the calendar. That's not to say that more won't come, because right around the start of the month is sometimes where stuff doesn't get published.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a couple of little sneaky things that might pop in there. So we'll see. Now, before we dive into this week's top story, a quick shout out to our fantastic Patreon supporters. If you enjoy what we do and you want to be a part of our exclusive community, head over to patreon.com/Galactic War Report. Your support makes this podcast possible, and you get access to the VIP section of our Discord, where we talk trash about all the people that don't have. We tell our secrets. Not really. We don't do a whole lot in there, but you get access to it. And at different tiers, you can get episodes early. You can get access to our DOF chat, which is like an hour before we record on Wednesdays. What are you doing? What are you doing 8:30 p.m. on a Wednesday? Come on. There's nothing going on. Come DOF chat with us. Give us your money and DOF chat with us. It's a fun community. It's a good time. Now then, punch it, Pop-Tart.
I mean, are we punching it into reverse? Or, like, what are we going to have here for punch here? Because, like we said, there's not a ton of news out there, but there's a ton of news in our neck of the woods. And I think that's kind of the interesting part. So
from inside the house.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this really starts, kind of obviously in your neck of the woods. So why don't I, kick it over to you and kind of tell us a little bit about how this all came about.
It's about the buzzing that you've been hearing in every episode. There's a little buzz, and I'm sorry. And if you hadn't noticed it,
now you do.
Will now. I'm working on it. No, it's not really about that. I do have, incidentally, I am working on that, and there's gear arriving tomorrow morning that should fix that. But the actual top story here is Black Sun Heroes and theothersean have parted ways. I am no longer I am a founder of Black Sun Heroes, and I have been released into the wild by the very guild that I founded. And it's not 100% something I don't understand. Because, I mean, look, you guys that tune in all the time, you hear me talk. You know I'm a joker. I'm not pulling my weight. I don't pull weight, I mean, I say that, but I do a little, I do do some things pretty well, I think. My mom always told me, you know.
My mom said.
So no, what happened is we had and I'm not going to spill all the tea on every member of Black Sun Heroes and shade anybody. Look, things change, right? And we had some changes in leadership where someone wanted to retire, and then other people didn't want to be officers anymore. Like it kind of just, enough things happened at the same time that were bad things. I should frame that in they were bad for the stability of Black Sun Heroes. So we found ourselves kind of in this power vacuum, and I was the leader of Black Sun Heroes for a hot minute when someone retired and just passed it on to me. And like, all right, cool. I was leader. I didn't like do much, you know. I delegated. And other people had, like, this guy's good at TB. Sweet, I'll let him keep doing that, you know. But even that was very short-lived. I gave it over to someone that was a little more intelligent than I am. But I didn't even we didn't have a conversation. We just were told, like, hey, here's the new thing. Some of you guys get to stay, and some of you guys don't get to stay. And we're going to fill the ranks with people from this other guild in our alliance. And I don't feel like I'm throwing anyone under the bus here. I'm telling a real story that happened to me, and I'm not pretending it did not, you know. So, like, there's a mix of sentiment here where it's like, these things happen in games like this, you know? It's not guaranteed that that great guild you had yesterday is going to be there tomorrow, right? So there's some sentiment that's like, I mean, some people are really upset and taking it personally. I get that. Others are like, all right, well, cool, whatever, and just up and leave and go find another guild. Okay. But there was enough people who kind of shared this idea of, it really doesn't matter if we were wronged or if this is the right call or whatever. What matters is, like, we're all out on our butts. And it was supposed to be a merger where we would all, as a group, move over to this other guild. And I think we're kind of like the bums of Black Sun Heroes that go to this other guild. And this guild would send their best and brightest to Black Sun Heroes. Again, like, I don't love it, but all right, let's get packing, you know? And then, like, less than 24 hours later, I think, maybe a little more than 24, we were told, I guess that merger's not going to work. And we're like, oh, okay, so we're going to stay here? Cool. We'll figure it out. No, you guys are still out. But you don't have a home anymore. Jeez. And it's just, like, what do you do with that? With the guild that you've been in for almost 10 years? What's the correct response there? Because a part of me just wants to, like, drag everyone involved completely.
Yeah, I get you.
I'm absolutely lying if I say that I was just like, oh, okay, cool. You know, it hurts.
Yeah.
And I keep going back to, I founded this guild. And I did. And I know I wasn't, like, the most active leader, or I was an officer that was in and out of the officer chat. I wasn't contributing a lot, whatever. But it's a stinker. It's a real stinker, because this was my baby, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyways, back to the happenings. There were enough people like me who thought it doesn't matter if it's right, doesn't matter really if we've been wronged. What matters is we've all been playing together, and like we all just got kicked out. Let's stay together. And we're like, well, are we going to find a guild that's going to scoop all of us up? Probably not. And maybe we could have. Almost certainly we could have. If we went to the right places and found a bunch of brand new players and they're like, you guys all have Galactic Legends? We'll take it, you know? But like, there's got to be some kind of balance there, right? So, what we decided to do was just start a new guild. Fresh. It just started today as we record. I am now a guild leader again for the Radio Free, well, RF Tatooiners.
Mm-hmm.
And you have joined?
I have.
And several of our Black Sun heroes who got cut have joined. We've even had people who used to be Black Sun heroes who have now joined, and that's cool. I like seeing that. But the reason I tell this story is there's a couple of reasons. One is there's not a lot of news this week.
That's a good reason.
It's a real good reason.
Yeah.
Two is it's really just what's on my mind, and I do not say this to, again, like I'm not trying to be a victim or drag anybody or anything like that, but the amount of just stress and anxiety that has been weighing on me these last 48 hours is insane. Like, just what I feel in my neck and shoulders right now from the way this has all... I'm not targeting a person. I'm just saying I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate this. This sucks. It sucks that this happened. So, then the third reason that I'm saying this right now is we need some bodies. We need you, our loyal Tatooiners. Get out of your garbage guilds. Come on. Some of you guys are in goofy guilds. Some of you have great guilds. I know this. I talk with you guys. I know some of you guys have real good situations going on, and I wouldn't expect you to want to get out of that. But man, if you're in one of those goofy guilds, get over here. Get over here. Come on.
There you go.
Hit us up on Discord.
There.
You can find us in game RF. It's capital RF space Tatooiners. It's Tatooine with a RS at the end. So you got to know how to spell Tatooine because people mess that up. Yeah, and we're gonna build something cool. And I'd be lying if I said that I didn't chicken out and want to call this whole thing off several times over the last day. I was like, hey man, I pieced out of the guild. I start this one up and I invite everybody and I sit and no one's showing up and I'm like, well, crap. But it's, the people are slowly coming in. We need more. And I would love to hear from you. If you just look us up in game without messaging, I don't know, we'll probably take you anyways. But but I'd love to know who you are, how you found us, that kind of stuff. So come to our Discord. It's in the show notes, and just chat and say, hey, yeah, you know what? This sounds like a good fit. And if you're a good fit, we'll take you. And we're not picky right now. We want to get this off the ground. And if you want to do it for a little while and try it out and then peace out, okay, do that. So that said, here's the current situation in our guild, right? One thing I was not aware of, or had, and why would I be? Because I have literally only been in one guild ever. What I was not aware of is we are starting over with raids. We have to beat the Rancor when we finally get enough tickets, because we're not full and it's going to take us a long time to get the tickets, which is why we need you guys to get in here. When we finally get the tickets, we have to do the Rancor first, and we have to do like tier 5 before it'll let us do tier, or whatever the second highest tier is, before it'll let us try the heroic tier. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that, and it's going to be silly, because we'll, like, it's so easy to clear that with one character now. But we'll have to do 2 Rancor raids, and then I think we have to do the same thing with the tank, but we can't even start the tank until we beat heroic Rancor, and we can't start Sith Triumvirate till we beat heroic tank, and then we can move on to the current raid, or whatever raid we're
able to do,
capable
yes.
of doing. So, in a way, that's kind of cool. This is a little trip down memory lane. If you want to be a part of this and jump in here and be like, you know what, I haven't hit a Rancor in forever. Let's do it. Let's do this stupid tank raid. Remember that? Yes, let's do it. Dust off your Finn lead resistance team and see what you can get done. Or your machine gun Leia for the tank raid. Come on, let's make this happen. Because it ain't easy to be like a 12 million-ish GP and like find an opportunity to go play that tank raid again.
Yeah.
And arguably, like, why would you want to? I don't know. You know?
Well, I mean,
because it's kind of fun to do once and be a part of us building this thing together.
Well, I mean, we were talking about in the Doth chat. I mean, it breaks up the cycle. You know, I think that a lot of us have been doing the same thing every day for a really long time. And again, I'm been really fortunate to be in a wonderful guild that, you know, in some ways carried me, in a lot of cases carried me, you know. So I think it really does break up that mindset and be able to come into here and, you know, create this new community and be able to have this guild. And like you said, start from the beginning. I mean, in really going back to the beginning, I think it will be kind of interesting. Yeah. I think it's going to give people an opportunity to go back down memory lane and have a little bit of fun with it. And are we going to miss some crystals? Yeah.
Oh, totally. We
some
are.
Crystals.
Yeah, the rewards will be garbage for a while, but we're building it. That's how this works. We're all signing up for. Yeah, I know the rewards are not going to be as good. We can still be competitive in Grand Arena, right? We can still do Conquest, like those things. We'll do and we'll do very well, but the guild stuff it's gonna take some time, and we will get there. I'm sure of it. Will we be exactly where Black Sun Heroes is? No, we won't, and that's fine. But we'll definitely get there. We'll make this worth your while. The other thing, like, I feel like the whole community aspect. Let's talk about that for just a second, because the important thing to me when hearing that I was going to be out of Black Sun Heroes, my mind didn't go to the territory battle rewards are going to be gone. The raid rewards are going to be gone. My mind went to these people that I consider like my social circle. Really, you know, I've got my family, I've got a few friends here and there that I see regularly, but I mean, I interact with these people every day. So that's where my mind went. So I wanted to preserve that community. And let's be real, some of y'all out there have been listening to this show for, we're coming up on 10 years? What? Come play with us. Come on, man. It's
421 episodes. So
let's do this together. And we'll figure it out. We've got a brand new Discord server. I got to figure that out. I don't have any like useful bot resources. That's a whole weekend project. Can't wait. I love being a leader. Can't you tell?
Well, I had to joke a little bit because my son runs, a pretty decent sized one for a couple games that he plays. And I'm going, maybe I'm going to ask him. What can he do?
Do it. I'll get my son in here. Why not? Why not? If he gives us 30 tickets and then quits playing, hey, that's 30 more tickets than we would have had. So. So that's the tea, man. That's a lot of tea, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, again, I really think, especially like leaving the guild I was in and a lot of great people as a whole, and it was really nice getting the messages and going back and forth, but it just, there is something about this game, and when you told me this, it was kind of a shock, right? A couple days ago, and just like, at first I'm going, man, is he gonna still play? Because it has been such a big part of your game, and I think about this, and again, I love the characters, I love the stuff that we do, but how many people have you talked to and built relationships with, and it's not easy,
Yeah, getting I'm like so stuck on this game, like getting out of it. I've got the guild and now the new guild that connects me. I've got the stupid podcast, my dumb Twitch streams. It's got me, man. But yeah. So, anyways, let's keep the community going. Let's play some games together.
There you go. I did tell my wife that it's probably the only way that I stop is if they just stop the game. Because she's like, "Would you ever stop?" I'm like, I don't know if I can at this point. I'm addicted. Like, I am deep. Like, there's going to be no intervention that's going to get me out of this game unless they just, CJ said, well, return the lights off, so. But I'd rather do that in a nice group setting with a lot of people, and if it does go, where, I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good step forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's taken a lot for me to wrap my head around the fact that, like, I'm not just going to get a few people from Black Sun Heroes and, like, some of our listeners and even other means of recruiting, whatever, and, like, get right back to business as usual. No, that's not what we're going to do. We are starting with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And we are turning it into something, like some alchemists out here. Just, I don't know, working our magic.
Now, I will say, this has to do better than what we did for Disney. Remember when we went over to Disney and it was
that sucked.
that was like
awful.
It felt like all of a sudden, like, you were on the boat and then people were just jumping off the boat as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you don't come over here if you expect a good experience. Let me tell you that right now.
Well, again, I think most of the time it was because of the game itself. Everyone's like, this is not as good as I thought this was going to be.
That's very true.
It was more like, okay, this does not, like, I already have one grind. I don't think I want to have another, but still.
Not like this.
But yeah, so, it's going to be, again, looking at it, if we go back and do the old stuff, I thought it'd be fun even just to do Hoth ones. Imagine going through that whole TB, with the characters that we have now, and again, I guess how many people end up when we first get to one of those.
Yeah, exactly. We can't even promise what it's going to look like because we don't even know till we get this thing filled out, And maybe we just open it up. If we don't get the bodies, we'll open it up in game and we'll make it work.
There you go.
One by one, we will get you, listeners. We will get you to join us. Somehow, you'll be in the Tatooiners.
Well, I'm excited. We gotta have like a new segment. It's gonna be focused just on the guild. And maybe we do that, right? just kind of an update.
I've already started thinking about Twitch streaming. I'm gonna stream this Rancor raid. Come on. That's gonna be silly. And the tank raid and the Sith raid, because it's perfect. I love it.
It's New Game Plus playing on the lowest difficulty with the highest characters, right?
Yeah. And you remember, like, think this was in place when you... this would have been in place when you started. Where you had... Like, you start a raid, and it will start in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then you have to... After 24 hours, you get in and you attack, but you have to wait a certain time before you post your first score, otherwise, or before you complete it, or whatever. Otherwise, it kills the raid for other people who might be in there getting their rewards. Man, that's wild.
Is that the old school? Is that, like, that doesn't work that way now, right?
No, because they've changed it so you can't really beat a raid. You just have a guild combined score now.
But even for the old ones, too?
Oh, I don't know. I think the old ones still have the old leaderboard style.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. It's just kind of... Well, we're going to find out, probably.
We are. So we're going to have so much to report.
I mean, we're just going to have that first person come in with their CLS and we don't get to play it or something. But
you better be on it when that raid launches. All right, let's move along to something a little more just kind of less depressing.
More normal.
Normal conversation. How's Conquest going for you?
Well, I am where I normally end, but I'm still trying to push forward. So I'm currently second to last crate, so I'm at 548. I have light side Mandos left, Imperial Remnant. It's just kind of the grindy stuff. Nothing too crazy. I do have a lot of the. I need basically the Phoenix. I think I'm 9 out of the 35 there. So, I mean, I could probably push through. We're kind of see. I did kind of go through and take like a day or 2 days, actually, where I just focused on Datacrons. So, I mean, I think this one around, it's actually a little bit easier than the other ones in the past, but it's still not like it's fun, right? It's going to be like the boss on the 5th sector. Oh, my word. I mean, that librarian is something else. I mean...
Oh, man, I smoked her. I don't remember what I used, but I saw her back there, and I was like, she might do something crazy. And I took her out before she could.
For me, it's the feats. I mean, it's just trying to do it without a Galactic Legend. And it was just kind of... I remember putting the Mandalorians in there, and that was a no. And then I'm like, basically all the ones that you have to use, I tried. It didn't go well. So, but overall, I mean, I don't have any desire, to be honest, to get her day one. I mean, I know I should, but I know it's going to be a moment. So
we got a new guild. We got to have a new mindset of like we don't mess around with day one stuff. That's not us, man.
Well, I mean, with Conquest, if it was, I will say that I'm catching up for Rey, so I should unlock her. Probably right at the beginning of the next one. And so I feel like she's going to be a big deal, especially seeing kind of what she is and what she does to Kylo. I think it's going to help a lot of things. And again, it's just one of those things where, like, if you can't play with a toy for a little while, and again, she's going to be great in different teams, but I can't say she's going to be one that I'm super excited to speed through to get. But still, I'll take it. I think I'll end up getting... I should get Red Crate if I'm a good child, but I'm probably not. I'm going to get distracted, but we'll kind of see. Yeah. But how about for you?
I'm a little further behind. I'm only at 514, so I'm just under second to last crate. And, it's the grindy stuff, the 35 Phoenix kills. And some of this stuff I have only today started to look at cheesing. How can you cheese these? Because there's always a way, right? And so I don't know. I'll look at that. I think I can hit max crate. I hope I can hit max crate. I just I'm feeling that feeling that I get in Conquest sometimes when you get toward the end and you look at what's left and you're like, I don't want to do any of these. Could I? Yeah, but I don't want to do... Oh, I'm sick of using Enoch. I don't want to.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So, we'll see. I think we'll get there. What about Datacrons? Have you gotten any good Datacrons out of it?
Yeah, so I ended up getting Cal Kestis, so Jedi Knight. That was definitely one that I wanted. And then I ended up going through and getting Gamguard, and I wanted him for the Hut Cartel side of it.
Nice.
Again, I'm not where I need to be with, what was the other one that's supposed to happen? So, why am I drawing a blank here?
Embo,
there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
So Embo's, I really, if I had, I know that's the better of the two. I still feel like, with his, he gets for every Hut Cartel, he gets 50 speed, 100% protection, right? And so then 20% crit chance. So I mean, he's just going to be a beast. And
yeah, I think it's a fun one.
But the one thing I didn't realize, mine's only Relic 3. So
that's the kicker right there.
Yeah, so that was a whoops. But and Cal's isn't great, I don't think, but it's not bad. It basically make it to where he's going to get his insta-kill quicker. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, I got 2 of them, but I do have 2 rows right now. So I did actually do a really good job of getting a ton of them. But I am already out of material. So, but how about for you?
I think we're in a kind of similar spot. I've only got 2 that are up to level 9. I have the first one I got to level 9 was an Imperial probe droid, and I almost dropped my phone. Like, no.
Mine, and to be honest, that was mine too.
Yeah, I re-rolled and got a BT1, so I'm very happy with that. And then my second one I got up to 9 was BAM.
Oh, nice.
Can't complain about that. I've got a level 8 Hut Cartel, so we'll find out what that's going to be tomorrow. And then, I've got almost 2 full rows of them. So
nice.
So the Datacrons they're coming. But it's those grindy feats that they're getting me. They are getting me. All right, so on to Grand Arena. We are in a new season of 3v3. It is time to take a look at dust off your 3v3 strategies, see what we're up against, see what we remember how to do. Have you begun, as we talk, we're only a few hours into the attack phase. Have you even started yours yet, or?
Yeah, I've only made 1 attack, and we did it actually during the Doth chat. I wanted to... I took the Zalbar Omicron out for a little bit of a run. Really for mine, my mission is only Relic 3. And again, my Zalbar's Relic 3. Thank you, Lightspeed Bundles. Appreciate that. And then my, Revan, he's going to be Relic 5. And so I did go in there and kind of look at, okay, what mods can I give him? Can I really do a good job on that one?
Yeah.
So then said, hey, what do we attack? And so I decided to attack. We all actually worked together and said, let's attack Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, and it was fun. I mean, it's really
smacked him.
Right? It's really weird because it's like with Bane, how you go through and you're waiting for that second character to die. This one mission just dies, and then magically gives almost 300 speed over to Darth Revan, and because of Zalbar's special there, they're just going through and actually getting back protection, and it was pretty easy. It was pretty nice. It was fun to play with.
I will say there was a couple turns toward the beginning where I was like, is this going to work?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Zalbar got a little beat up. He was hanging, but yeah, my overall impression was like, that was a 65 pointer, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like he definitely, he started to recover when we got more of the dots on there. You could see that's when he started to do better. But until if he wasn't getting the dots, because I wondered too with potency on him. But I think getting both Mission and Zalbar up at least to Relic 5 would make a lot of sense. But it was fun. But that's the only attack I've done. Now, I thought it was funny, so I just hit 11 million, and so when we started our DOS chat, I was actually 11 million even, and then I got to help the guild, so I put another 4,000 into it, so there we go, right? But I am in Kyber 3, and it's kind of funny because I am 32 out of 31 is my record, and I always feel like, man, I'm doing really, really great, and then I do really, really bad. Really, I don't have consistency, and I look at it and I'm like, because I was thinking I'm probably better in 5v5. Nope, I'm better in 3v3. So, but in the long run, Doesn't matter what I do, I'm still going to be right around that 50% right. But so yeah, now you actually got to stream yours. So how'd it kind of go for you?
Well, it's not over. I ran out of time, so I didn't do ships yet. But I did get tripped up a couple things. I didn't update my datacrons at all. I'm usually more or less fine with leaving my teams there. I mean, unless there's some amazing new defensive datacron or something. So the teams I fully planned to leave in place, but I forgot to update the datacrons. So several of my defenses didn't have datacrons. As we speak, my opponent has not attacked unless they've done it since we've been on here. But I got tripped up on 2 fights, and it was Iden Versio and what's the other one? Captain Rex, the Los Dos Rexes. That kind of hurt. So I'm sitting at 1561, and I haven't done ships at all. So I'll clear those out. They're not bad. There's an executor, a negotiator, and a malevolence or something. Yeah. I'll storm that. So we'll see. But I also this guild stuff is so on my mind that as I was messing up, I was like, I almost guarantee if I wasn't so stressed out about this garbage, I would have, and maybe it's just me searching for an excuse, but yeah. So round 2, I can do better. This is not my best work. Yeah. So that's it. That's the show, y'all. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining RF Tatooiners, because I assume I'm going to get 1,000 inbox requests tomorrow, in 2 days. Yeah, I guess before we go, no one's going to want to join a guild of people who don't share who they're grinding, so we ought to tell them who you grinded.
Well, yeah, so I mean, I made a relic move this week. It felt pretty good.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened much lately, so Ahsoka, we're getting closer. I mean, Padawan Ahsoka, not Padawan Ahsoka, but Padawan Sabine, 9 out of 100 up to 49, so we're only about 51 away. I'm pretty excited about that. Hu Yang is also, he went from 69 out of 85 up to 16 out of 100, so we are really, that's all we got left for shards, so we're moving pretty close. Now, Hera, she was Relic 3 last week, now she's up to Relic 5, so she is done. And so that means I still have a Relic 9 to go. Fulcrum, she went from Relic 5 up to Relic 7, and have all the materials to get up to Relic 8 and to 9. So it's really just that last tier of signal data, and it takes forever, it feels like, but that's all I have left, basically, just get some signal data. So that means I will have Plo. I need to get him up to Relic 8, he's only Relic 5, and then Rex, he is Relic 5, and then, of course, Sabine and Hu Yang. And I think both of them are Relic 7, if I remember right. So, we'll get there. I mean, yeah. I can see it in the, down the line, shouldn't be too far off. But now, thinking of something far off, it feels like Punishing One. We went from 43 out of 100 up to a whopping 70 out of 100. So, we are getting there. It actually wasn't too bad of a week, but I am ready. I use a lot of fleet currency just for, not currency, but fleet energy for, the Gear 12 to 13 requirements. So it really feels like it doesn't really truly matter, but it does matter to be able to use more of that. Now, what's kind of funny, though, is so normally I'm very, I always have a set schedule, and I've kind of wishy-washed a couple things, but the moment that I left the guild, I was looking going, I mean, I want to do something for myself. And I'm like, what's the worst thing I can do? You're a maverick
now. You can do anything. Yeah.
I just took I just went through and did this. And so I was looking at it, and now all of a sudden I started looking at Lord Vader going, okay, I'm usually behind on some shards here, and now I have every single character at least with seven stars. So I'm like, okay. And I've been hoarding all of this material, because basically now, I mean, I haven't been really going back and doing anything, so decided Hunter, all right, here we go. You're going to go up to Relic 0, because, you know, I'm not going to use any type of, you know, signal data on them right now. And then Tech also went up to Relic 0 from Gear 1, so that felt pretty good. I won't lie, and now it's just going to be one of those things where when I get done with Ahsoka, I'm just going to get done with Lord Vader. So then I have all of the GLs, and again, is it the right thing to do? Probably not, but...
Yeah, almost certainly not, but
on the other side of it, who cares, right? So now, with that, I did actually use up some Zetas because I want to get up to that 11 million. So I was like, Hu Yang, yeah, let's give you yours. Padawan Sabine, I'm going to need it anyway, so I might as well give you yours. Sure. And then I thought, I'm going to be a good guildmate, right? And so we're going to have to really push for some territory battles. So I decided, I had 57 Omicrons, I'm just going to start putting them on some territory battle characters. And so...
Oh my god.
Right? So I'm going to help the guild. Ended up going and putting 2 onto Jedi Knight Cal because I was dumb before and put it on the leader ability. So, who knows? I mean, if we do Hoth, I am going to destroy Hoth with my Jedi Knight Cal. Like, it is going to be so worth it for like 1 or 2 times. And then, hopefully, we can get some of that special currency later on. So, I mean, I feel like Ahsoka's not too far off. And now it's kind of fun to think that I don't need Lord Vader, probably, but I'm going to go through and get Lord Vader here probably by the end of the year, and then from there we move forward. So, and then you're gonna probably my guild leader's gonna make me do like all of these crazy relics. So I might as well do something I want to do now. So
I already got it all mapped out for you.
There you go. Right?
Yeah.
So
I don't want to ruin your day, so I'll just trickle them out over the next couple of months.
So now that you are officially my like a guild leader for me, I need to know every single week, just like how I've always known for like I don't know how many months and years now. I need to know who you grinded, because it affects me now too.
Yeah, I know. It's just like becoming a parent, you know? Like, I'm not making decisions just for me anymore.
Right, 49 other people.
For the whole... Well, not yet.
Not yet, but yeah.
Not quite anywhere near 49.
I'm putting it out in the universe for you.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, my Ahsoka quest journey is still going. Padawan Sabine went from 42 up to 64 out of 85. Hu Yang went from 55 up to 75 out of 85. Balin, I'm ready. Marok went from Relic 2 up to Relic 7, and I am ready for Balin to stop on by anytime. Outside of that, the only other stuff I had was like some kind of miscellaneous stuff I was working on. Punishing one from 51 up to 71 out of 100, so that will end soon-ish. And then I'm kind of torn on what to do on some of these, because I had this whole thing mapped out of who I was going to take up to Relic 7 for Rise of the Empire to get more waves done. And now, like, it doesn't matter. Like, our guild, when we finally do a Rise of the Empire, is gonna suck. You know? Like,
I mean, we're not gonna suck. We're just not gonna be up in the top range, you know?
But, like, are we gonna clear these planets and get to where you need Relic 7, even? You know? Like, that's a battle. So, whatever. I took Ezra from Relic 5 up to Relic 7. And I'm not going to, like, regret any of these, right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like, I don't know. Dark Trooper Moff Gideon went from Relic 5 up to 6. I'm going to take him to 7. Just, whatever. I'm not going to regret it. He's really good. And then Darkside Rey is at Relic 5. I'll probably take her to 7 also, because she's also very useful. but then I have like Afra at Relic 5, and I was gonna take her higher because she's required. I'm not doing that. Kyle Katarn, I was gonna crank him up, give him an Omicron. I'm not doing that. It's just not. It's a different world now.
Yeah,
my territory battle plan is a little different now that I'm not in Black Sun Heroes. So we'll get the people together and we will figure out what actually makes sense. So I did the exact opposite of you, where you were like, territory battle or bust, baby. Give me all of them. I don't know what's going on, so I'm just hasn't really changed my behavior because, like I said, I'm still working on Gideon, and then I'll do Ray after, and those were going to happen anyways. But I don't know. As far as Zetas, I did both of Wrecker, new Wrecker, and then I did apply an Omicron this week. Remember last week I was like, I'm probably going to do something stupid. Well, guess what? We did it! I did Padawan Obi-Wan. I was in Conquest, and I was like, you know what? There's several of these feats that would be a little bit easier if I had him.
Yeah.
And I don't regret that at all. It's fine. I've completed those feats, and now I'm on to the grindier ones, but it's cool. I like it. I mean, I was in a position where I have a roster that's developed to a point where, like, it doesn't matter a ton if I just do this right now. And I've already got 19 ready for my next thing, which maybe it'll be Balin, unless I can't think of what else would tempt me at this point. I don't think there's a whole lot else that I really, 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 really want.
I mean, so. Is Ray's pretty decent though? I mean, so Visionary.
Yeah, I already have In Our Nature.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. So outside of that, I mean,
that's going to be my next one.
They wreck everything. In Grand Arena. That's all we got for you this week. May not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend. And we did recommend you join a goofy guild, didn't we? Yeah. If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server. It's linked in the show description. Become a real live Jawa by supporting us on Patreon, and share your thoughts by leaving us a podcast review. Big thanks also go out to Abu Abba and SWGOH.gg and SWGOHnuts.com for providing all the hard data we misinterpret. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force and RNG